we are happy to welcome Sanjay Verma, Ambassador of India in Spain. Thank you, Ambassador, for coming to Elcano Royal Institute.
Well, it's a privilege to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
I would like to ask you, taking advantage, we are in the new year, I would like to ask you about the priorities of Indian foreign policy for the 2020.
Well, it's not just 2020, it's also an uncertain and changing world order. But the statics for us in this foreign policy journey is, I think, our priorities are our immediate neighborhood first. We believe that India's economic rise is a tide which can bring positivity to the region, so to increase trade and connectivity and development assistance to the region. Beyond the region, we think our relations with ASEAN are central to our foreign policy. We have the Act East policy, which adds muscle and bones to our relationship with ASEAN. That brings me to the Indian Ocean. We believe that the Indian Ocean secures not just our trade and energy security, but also is the cause around which we will substantiate our periphery, the Indo-Pacific region, with which we have historical, cultural and economic ties going back at least 5 centuries, if not more. So that is the area of priority. The West relations with the Gulf, extremely important. We have a large diaspora there. With Africa, a development partnership which is rooted in common democratic values. Then with the major powers, our relations with China. China is a neighbor, important trading partner with which we have some differences. That will require attention. Our relations with the US, the European Union, Japan. These are some of the areas in which the foreign policy will travel. It's also to be remembered that in 2020 India will be hosting the SCO summit and the 4th India-Africa summit. These are global events which require substantial preparation. Next year we will be holding the BRICS summit, and in 2022 the G20 summit. This is also indicative of the sort of footprint that Indian foreign policy has in terms of engagement at multilateral level, and we are all for multilateralism, while at the same time nurturing bilateral relationships. Indian ministers and the top leadership have visited 189 of the 192 countries on the planet in the last 5 or 6 years. My Prime Minister himself has visited about 60 countries to reinforce our foreign policy objectives and build a partnership with like-minded countries.
You mentioned the Indo-Pacific region, which for obvious reasons is at the core of India's foreign policy, and is obviously also one of the most dynamic regions in the world. What role do you see for the European Union in this part of the world, and on India-EU, cooperation on the Indo-Pacific region?
Well, let me begin with India-EU. It's ironic that individually with European countries, if we aggregate India's relationship, the sum total naturally is much bigger than the traction we've had with EU. Of course, because it's a bloc and positions get diluted, and it's slow in taking decisions, or we take decisions for always sometimes inexplicable reasons. So, but with EU, we found that it was inward looking, but that is changing. We have issues on the trade deal, which I'm sure we will work out a solution for. But in a world which fast appears to be binary, the choices seem black and white, either with me or against you, sort of a situation. We feel India and EU, because of their shared perspectives on democracy, on rule of law, etc., can be natural strategic partners, whether just the Indian Indo-Pacific or nurturing the new architecture for a new world order. I think there is a lot of scope for like-minded countries to work together.
Well, we hope that the new European Commission will be more proactive, in cultivating links with India, and I think that the presence of Josep Borrell, the new High Representative at this moment in India, could be a good sign. Since you are the ambassador of India in Spain, I would like to finish this interview asking you about the bilateral relation between India and Spain.
Well, India and Spain are in a good space. We have close and cordial relations with Spain. We tick all the important boxes of a bilateral relationship: good economic and commercial relations. Bilateral trade is $6 billion. Bilateral investments about $4 billion. About 250,000 people travel between our two countries every year. We have significant academic partnerships. Cultural relations are good. There is familiarity about India in Spain. Politically, there are no outstanding issues which have a negative bearing on our relationships. So all is good. We hope to take relations on a higher and faster track. At the same time, India looks to Spain for furthering the larger India-EU partnership, because we believe that Spain will increasingly play a much bigger role in the EU, especially post-Brexit. We wish it very well, and it's a privilege for me to be the ambassador of my country in Spain, and I can see this relationship only improving in the future.
Okay. And if you would have to pick only one issue, I mean, as your main legacy as an Indian ambassador in Spain, what would you like that issue to be?
Well, probably more contacts and linkages and relations in strategic aspects of our relationship, like defense, or sharing our strategic vision, working together towards a common cause, taking off from bilateral and taking that message to the EU and beyond.
Thank you so much, Ambassador.
My pleasure.